Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wave. Please do like and subscribe this channel. We have great content for all those who are looking to invest for the long term in cryptos. This week has been a bloodbath on the crypto markets, not just the crypto markets, even on the in the stock markets, and I'm getting a lot of questions from people asking broadly two questions: Why is this happening? And is it a good time to buy? Right? And I think depending on who the person was, or rather what is their history, the question totally made sense to them. If you are somebody who probably bought it last year and are facing a huge loss in your portfolio today, then I guess these guys will ask me like, what's really happening? What should I do? And the folks who did not buy and they thought they missed the bus, and suddenly they see this opportunity to buy, and these are the folks who are pinging me asking, hey, is this a good time to buy? Let's try and answer both these questions in this video. But just for those who have no idea, if you've been living under a rock, the crypto markets have got battered this week. Bitcoin has come down to less than 50% of its all-time high. All-time high was close to $70,000. Today it's around $28,000. Some tokens have had it even worse. Luna was down by more than 90-95%. So it's been a pretty bad week, uh, not just for cryptos but for stocks as well. If we look at the Nasdaq index, it also fell. In fact, Apple, which was the largest company in terms of market cap today, is at number two. Right, so Apple itself has lost its crown position. Bitcoin has also lost a lot of. Bitcoin has lost its price. It's come down from $70,000 somewhere around 12. Right, this index tries to they gather various parameters to come up with this number. Last month, or sorry, yesterday it was 12, last week it was 27, last month was 20. So it is coming down. There is more fear in the market now. If we look at the analysis of the crypto holders itself, right, we can, you can look at this chart here, a small chart here. It says 47% of people are in profit even at the current prices. So even if at crypto being at around $28,000, about 47% of the folks are at profit, but around 49% are in loss. This is the crowd that is really worried. They put in their hard-earned money, and today they are probably sitting on a loss, and that's nearly half of them, right? So I'm sure, I can imagine why they are worried so much, and they are panicking. This is Bitcoin. Now let's look at Ethereum, right? And we look at one particular metric, which is price correlation with Bitcoin. If you see the price correlation with Bitcoin for Ethereum, it's 0.99. And Ethereum itself is such a large, crypto that has its own independent identity beyond Bitcoin, unlike many other tokens. And Ethereum itself has a 0.99 price correlation to Bitcoin, which means that if Bitcoin price rises up, Ethereum price will rise up. If Bitcoin crashes, Ethereum will crash. Right? And if Ethereum itself is this correlated, I can tell you from my research that almost all tokens are highly correlated, more than 80-90% correlated to Bitcoin price. So we'll take Bitcoin as an as the index or as the measure for the rest of this video, because we know that the price is correlated and the cycle will broadly follow Bitcoin cycle, right? Uh, Now let's look at the fear and greed index again, right? This is the last 1 year. Bitcoin went up to above 50-60 thousand dollars last year, and there was extreme amount of greed in the market. And today it is down, right? It is around the fear and greed index is showing a number of 12. So there is extreme fear in the market, uh, principally, right? Like even what Warren Buffett sort of tells us is that, or tells the general market. I mean, not me in person. Uh, even what Warren Buffett sort of advises everybody is, buy when others are fearful, sell when others are greedy. and this is the point in the market where if others are fearful and it is time to buy. Going by that advice, it's definitely time to buy, right? Because the market is of extreme fear, and to understand it better, what should you buy? Uh, the market usually goes like this, right? It peaks, then it crashes, and there are different stages, right? Today we are probably in like denial or panic stage where people are panicking, and probably after this there will be a stage where prices will be lower from much lower from their all-time highs, and it might see small variance around that price, but not really see an upward trend for a few months. And when this happens, most people stay away from the market. Right? This is when fear kicks in. People try to stay away. But for you as an investor, this is a time for you to do an enormous amount of research. Just follow the at least just follow the six parameters that I mentioned in one of my previous videos. Right? Look at the tokenomics, look at the team, look at the utility, look at the activity, and look at the stakeholders and ecosystem. If you just follow these parameters and try and figure out if a token is good or not, at least you can come up with a list of tokens that you feel are good, and maybe try and invest into them while the market is down, right? And when the market picks up, that's when you will be one of those people in the green, right? Like what we saw in the other graph, where about 49, close to 47% of the Bitcoin holders today are in profit. Right? Most of these people probably bought it when the prices were much lower than what it is today. Right? It doesn't matter. Price is just an indicator. For a good token, price is a short-term thing, because if something has value, if something has utility, then eventually price will rise up. Right? If people are going to use it, then price is just an indicator of adoption. Right? So we're going by that. I would say try and figure out what are the good tokens and try and invest into those tokens. Let's look at Bitcoin itself. What happened, or like what has historically happened to Bitcoin? So Bitcoin has something called halving cycle. Every 4 years, the block rewards reduces by half, and when this happens, there's a supply shock. It's like imagine the supply of food to your city just reduced by half overnight. What would happen? There would be chaos the next day, right? Everybody eats the same amount of food every day. The demand is the same, but your supply is suddenly like reduced by half. So there would be a huge, increase in price. So that's basic economics that is kicking in here as well. Every time Bitcoin halves, there's a supply shock, and because of the supply shock, the price this it acts as like a spark to ignite the rise in prices. So in 2012, on halving day, it was $12, and 150 days later, Bitcoin was like $127. In 2016, halving day it was 650, and 150 days later it was 758, and in the months that followed, it went up to almost 17 or $20,000 for a Bitcoin. In 2020, when the halving happened, it was around $8,800 for a Bitcoin, and 150 days later, it was almost $11,000. And the months that followed, it touched almost $70,000, and now we are back to about $28,000. The next halving cycle is going to come in 2024. So that, if not any other intervention in between, at least that I would say would kick off another price rally. But Bitcoin, as we know, has it is getting its use cases. People are using it for several activities. Two countries have already adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender. So Bitcoin has strong fundamentals. That is, there's no more debate, I guess, around it now. There are more and more use cases opening up, and as this happens, price is only going to be an indicator of that adoption, and adoption is definitely happening. Now, this was the Bitcoin chart. So we see that somewhere around here was when in 2016 was when the halving event happened, and it rose up all the way to close to $20,000 over here in 2018, January of 2018, and after that in 2020 there was another halving event, and the price rally that we saw last year was post that halving event, and now we are back. to the lower levels of this price, the Bitcoin price can probably crash even more. Nobody can tell how this behaves in a short term, but the hope is that the next halving cycle at least will push up the price. And the second factor is that there are many use cases. People are using it. Adoption is increasing, and hence price is only a lagging indicator in that sense. It will eventually catch up, and price will hopefully go up. You can look at another interesting factor. Now, mining hash rate, right? The miners who are probably the most important people in this whole Bitcoin ecosystem, they are putting in more and more, computing power, and we can see this is the trend of this has only increased in the last 3 years, right? Which means that they have a lot of trust in Bitcoin. Otherwise, they would not be spending their money on it. Right? So now that we know that at least the miners are not giving up on this, we can feel safe about it. And that is one indicator that I would use to say that yeah, because the most fundamental people in this ecosystem are believing in it, there is a good chance that there will be a recovery. So what should you really be doing? Should you be investing? Well, like I mentioned, this is a good time for you to start researching, right? Figure out what are the good tokens and create your portfolio. Maybe put in small amounts of money over the next few months. That could be one strategy that you could follow, but it's totally up to you on what you want to try and do. But at least try and start researching. We have a website called wave33.club. We have created various baskets and have described in very simple sentences what tokens and these baskets mean. You can try and go through them to, which could act as a beginning or a starting point of your research. We hope this helps you in any way possible for, in your investment journey. For more great content on crypto concepts or an analysis for long-term investing, like and follow Wave. We have a number of interesting things coming up in the pipeline. Hopefully, we have an analysis on Luna soon. So, thank you very much and stay tuned.